all due respect, sir, I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
We built a fire in the studio out of eviction notices. They had their spotlight, and they were kind of mad now. Well, hello once again. Welcome to Comedy Parenting Radio. My name's Jerry Begley. I'm your host. And in the studio, we've got three people with us. We've got Elijah, Joshua, and Josiah, also known as The Bug, or most recently his nickname now is Uncle Josiah because he's an uncle. Say hello, Uncle Josiah.
Hello.
Anyway, our topic today is going to be Jim Beats the Rangers. We'll be back in just a minute.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone. They're gone.
You're kidding.
Nope, they're gone. They're gone.
Okay, all right. Think about it. Where did you have them last?
I remember I was home, then I took them, and then I spent them on that vacation to Aruba. Then I bought this miniature suit of armor I saw in the in-flight magazine.
And that's the last you saw of your savings?
Yes.
This is so weird.
I know, right?
Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. You'd be surprised how quickly a little money from every paycheck can really add up. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
The armor is cool, though. Oops. I think I broke its gauntlet.
You broke my favorite part.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Okay, now you're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio.
We have to get on, we have so much time and so little to do. Strike that, reverse it.
Okay, we're back with Comedy Parenting Radio. We've got the guys in the studio here, Elijah, Joshua, and Josiah, and we're going to be telling you guys a story here today about Jim Beats the Rangers. Just want to let the folks out there in the radio land know that it's winter time as we record this one, and we're sitting in the studio. We got a nice crackling fire burning over here. We built a fire in the studio out of eviction notices, so it's pretty toasty fire right here. And let's get right to the story here. Guys, this is about a guy named Jim. And Jim used to be a ranger. He worked for the U.S. Forest Service as a ranger. And that's all I'm going to tell you about that guy. And Jim and I were roommates for many years and used to go camping. You guys ever been camping?
Yeah, yes, we have. Yes, we have.
What's the coolest thing about camping?
Marshmallows.
Sleeping outside. Marshmallows. Hot
dogs.
Fishing. Hikes.
Ooh, yeah. I like marshmallows that are melted and dripping all over my clothes, too. You know.
Oh, yeah.
S'mores.
You know, when you make it black. Anyway, Jim and I were camping out in Moab, Utah, but the day that we arrived out there, we got to the park, which was Arches National Park, and we didn't have a campsite. We got there late in the afternoon, early evening. All campsites were full. So Jim and I decided, well, we're going to go over here by the hiking trail parking lot. We're just going to kind of cook dinner and kind of rethink what we're going to do. So we drove over there in his pickup truck, and we got out the little tiny camp stove. And this camp stove is only about as big as my fist. Okay, and we started cooking up dinner and put our sleeping bags on the ground to sit on because it was just concrete right there at the edge of the parking area. And the Rangers came by in their truck and said, "You're not going to camp here tonight, are you? Because this is not a camping spot." And Jim said, "No, sir, we're not going to camp here at all." "Well, okay, just want to let you know." And so we cooked dinner, and it started to get a little bit later and later and later, and the sun was down, and it was about getting dark. It was getting close to 9 o'clock. And yeah, it's kind of dusky time, you know, you can't hardly see. And the Rangers drove by again. And the Rangers said, "You guys are going to have to move on out of here." And Jim said, "Why is that?" And he said, "Because the deer normally come out this time of the night, and you're scaring them away, and you can't be here this time of night."
Oh, good grief.
You're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio.
You better check out jerrybagley.com.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting.
Location.
In the woods, just outside of town.
Oh, not surprising. You've got your home. Bears have theirs.
Yeah, but see, this wasn't just any bear. This bear was wearing jeans and a hat, as in a Smokey Bear.
Jeans and a hat. That's definitely Smokey. What exactly did he have to say?
Well, we were about to head home, after having a bonfire.
Oh, I can guess where this is going.
Right. See, Smokey told me the fire wasn't actually out. He said if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
That's true. Did you know that 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans? That means 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
Wow, no kidding?
I'm a forest ranger. We never kid.
Sorry.
that was a joke.
Oh.
If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference, because 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
You are listening to Commandant Jerry Bagley.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
I looked at the ranger, and I said, "This is a day use area, isn't it, sir?" And he said, "Yeah, it is." And I said, "Well, according to 36 CFR 261-53A," or whatever it was I said, "we can use a day use area until 10 p.m., can't we?" and the guy said, "Well, yes, you can." And see, not only was Jim a ranger, I used to be a ranger too, so I knew all these regulations by heart, or some of them. And I said, "We'll be out of here by 10 o'clock. And so they said, "Okay." And they were kind of mad now because they couldn't chase us out due to the deer. There were still deer walking around out there, so I don't know what he was even talking about. He just wanted to have a reason to boot us out of there. Well, you're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio, and we're talking about Jim Beats the Rangers. We'll be right back.
Treesock Press sells the books that stay on your shelves. When you want books that your guests pick up and read and can't put down, make sure it's one of Treesock Press's comedy books. Get a copy of our new book, Dad, the Tooth Fairy Didn't Come, and your kids will want you to read it over and over and over until you pull what little hair you have left out. When you pitch old books out into the gutter, you'll feel complete guilt if it's a Treesock Press book. Get your Treesock Press book wherever lousy comedy books are sold. Treesock. It stays on your shelf.
The revolution will be broadcast.
Okay, we're back with Comedy Parenting Radio talking about Jim Beats the Rangers. We're out in Arches National Park, and the Rangers have been giving Jim and I a hard time about cooking our dinner right there in the parking lot. They thought we were going to camp there. So the Rangers come by right at dusk, and had said that we need to be out of there. And we said, no, we'll be out by 10 o'clock. Well, we had everything packed up in his truck, and at 2 minutes till 10 o'clock, we dutifully drove out of there. And we waved at them and smiled as we went by, and they didn't really acknowledge us much at all. And so it's dark, it's 10 o'clock, and the Rangers are sitting there with their binoculars, and they can see way out across the canyons when people come into the park in the dark, the headlights of their cars, and so then they can bust them and keep them from camping illegally. And I looked at Jim and I said, hey, Jim, if we go up over that little hill and you signal to the right and turn like you're going out toward Klondike Bluffs, the Rangers will think that we're going to go camp illegally out at Klondike Bluffs. But instead, you could just turn off the headlights of your truck when you're past over the hill, and they'll think you turned, and we'll just go on down the highway. And so Jim did that. He signaled to the right with plenty of time there, went over the hill, disappeared, and then he shut off his headlights of his truck, and we drove on down the main highway there on the blacktop in the full moon or whatever it was. And as we went up over the next hill, I looked back behind, and sure enough, the lights came on the Ranger truck. And the Rangers started driving up that way, and they signaled right, and they turned right, and they went out into the desert toward Klondike Bluffs. And they had their spotlight, and they're shining left and right. They're looking all over the place to see if Jim and I had camped illegally somewhere out there. And the last time we ever saw the Rangers, they were going miles out across the desert looking for us as we laughed our way on down the highway. So that was the time that Jim beat the Rangers. We're going to have some more Jim stories in another episode of Comedy Parenting Radio. So thanks for joining us today. And by the way, guys, it was nice of you to bring your cat pistols and your Nerf guns into the studio. And somebody might go get the fire extinguisher. It looks like that fire's getting out of control over there. Oh, we better get going. Bye-bye. Anybody got the phone so we can dial 911?
You're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio.
Okay, now you're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio.
To the Idiot Mobile.